that what is the difference between incarnation and expansion? And along with that, I have another question. When we say Srila Prabhupada is Shaktyavesh avatar of Krishna, and I was reading in Srimad Bhagavatam the incarnation and expansion part, and it was said that the Lord sometimes empowers his associates. So I just want to ask you humbly again that so if Lord empowers some associate with a special so just trying to understand what is exactly it means Shaktavesh avatar, so that my concept is clear. So is it incarnation of the Lord, or is it that Lord gives special powers in that? I'm just trying to understand. So
very nice questions. So the first question was, what is the difference between incarnation and expansions? So
yes,
incarnation in Sanskrit, it is avatar. Avatar, actual translation of avatar is to descend. Avatar means to descend. That's the actual translation. And so when Krishna takes an avatar, he descends from the spiritual world to the material world for a particular purpose. Expansions may not descend to the material world for a particular purpose. It's only when they descend from spiritual to material world, that's avatar, that's incarnation. But like, for example, it is explained that Krishna, he expands himself into Balaram. And when he's he's extremely happy, then if you take that happiness out of Krishna, that takes the form of Srimati Radharani. And then Balaram expands as the spiritual world and the spiritual paraphernalia. And he then expands into Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudev, Sankarshan. Then from there, Lord Narayan appears. From Lord Narayan, the second Chaturvyuha appear, the Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshan, and Vasudev. Again, this is the second set of Chaturvyuha. Then from there, so many other expansions. They expand, and then Mahavishnu comes in the material world. And he lies down in the causal ocean. He expands as Garbhodakshay Vishnu. In the Garbhodak ocean, from his navel, the lotus stem comes. And then he expands himself as Kshirodakshay Vishnu into each and every atom. So these are all expansions. But Lord Rama, Krishna descends as Lord Ram. That is avatar. He has a particular purpose. He's not expanding himself as Lord Ram. He is, of course, Krishna has 64 qualities, Lord Ram has 60 qualities, but he is descending. Similarly, Narayan, he comes to give, for example, he gave darshan to Dhruva Maharaj. Nrsingadev, he descended. He's an incarnation because he's an avatar. He descended. Krishna descended as Nrsingadev. But so in short, expansions can be avatars. Like avatars can be expansions, but all expansions are not avatars. Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhu, I understand. I very so these like all Vishnu's Shirodakshay, Karnodakshay, Garbhodakshay, they don't descend. Like they all are in spiritual world. But those who like 10 main incarnations.
No, even
No.
actually, if
Yeah,
you
I
see
made a mistake. Sorry.
Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu, they are also they are expansions, but they are considered as Purusha avatar. Purusha avatar is these three, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Mahavishnu, but they are also expansions. Now, Narayan in the spiritual world, the Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudev, Sankarshan, they are expansions. When they appear in Lord Krishna's pastimes as Pradyumna, Aniruddha, their son, grandson, then they are considered as avatar. So all avatars are expansions, but expansions need not be avatar.
That's the difference.
Avatar means when they descend for a particular purpose. But before being an avatar, they have been an expansion of expansions and plenary expansions like that. Even the living being is an expansion of Krishna. It's considered, but we are not avatar. We are expansions and plenary expansions and things like that.
Yes, I understand now much better. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So I just heard that expansion has because as you are saying that it is on the same platform, so it has 64 qualities, means same qualities, but the incarnation avatari, they have less qualities than the Krishna. Is it true?
No, even the expansions don't have the same qualities as Krishna.
Like Balram and Krishna. So Balram, only the color was different,
yes.
But they have the same qualities.
Yes, but
right?
when Balram expands into Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, and then to Lord Narayan, now the qualities, Narayan has only 50 qualities, or 56 qualities actually.
And
so
even
like
Lord Balaram, even there is a difference between Krishna and Lord Balaram. There are two differences between Krishna and Balaram. Krishna is black and Balaram is white. And both of them are Supreme Personality of Godhead. Balaram is very unique person. So Balaram is also Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Balaram is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the mood of a servant. And Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the mood of an enjoyer. That is the difference. So in that sense, the 64 qualities, that's not there even in Lord Balaram.
Even like
he's not having Venu Madhuri. He's having Rupa Madhuri, he's having Leela Madhuri, but Bhakta Pariveshtita, but he doesn't have Venu Madhuri. So there's a difference.
In fact, Balaram tried to get Krishna's flute and said, "Why are I will also dress as you." He had a peacock feather and he took Krishna's flute and started
just for half a day.
Just for half a day. And when Keshi Demon came, Keshi Demon thought that Balaram is Krishna because Balaram had dressed as Krishna, and he started kicking Balaram. So Balaram went to Krishna and gave his flute back, gave his peacock feather back. You keep it. I don't want to be.
So Venu Madhuri is lacking in Balaram also, you see. So Krishna is the only Param Purush Bhagavan, Sampurna. He is the only complete Supreme Personality of Godhead. And even the expansion, even Lord Balaram himself doesn't have one of the attributes.
So that's the unique. Difference between incarnations and expansions is not dependent on the number of qualities. That is separate. That is it can be, it cannot be, how much it is different. That's not the criteria to decide their expansions or plenary expansions or incarnations. The expansions can also become avatars. Some are expansions as well as avatars.
But avatar cannot become the expansion. So that is the main difference.
Like if you see Lord
Very confusing.
Yeah, Lord Nrsingadev is an avatar, but in order to descend, he has to be an expansion. He has to be. Now, sometimes we think expansion means bigger than the original, right? We say expand. So we think that means Krishna is smaller and the expansion has to be expanded, bigger than Krishna. No, it's the other way. The expansion means from the original candle, other candles have come.
Okay.
So don't there is no comparison as such in that sense. Avatars, if they descend for a particular purpose, avatar means to descend. So if they've descended, that is avatar. But all avatars have to be expansions. That's the source is from Krishna. He's the avatari. Why is he called avatari? Like even Lord Chaitanya is called Chaitanya Avatari. Because avatar and avatari, he's the source. All the avatars' source is Krishna. So if Krishna is the source of the avatar, if Krishna is the avatari, then avatars have to be an expansion of Krishna by definition.
And that
because
is
they're coming from Krishna.
And that is why even we as the living entities, we are actually expansions of Krishna.
Yeah.
In
But
that
we
sense,
are not avatars.
we are not avatars, but we are expansions. We are part and parcel of Krishna. So Balaram, you see, Balaram is also expansion and he's incarnation also. So there is a difference between that way. So the only simple thing to understand is that incarnation means, avatar means to descend. One who comes down with a specific purpose, that is incarnation. Expansion, we are also expansions of Krishna. We are also coming from Krishna. We as a spirit soul, we are part and parcel of Krishna. We are expansions of Krishna.
Shaktyavesh avatar. Shaktyavesh avatar, is it Krishna coming or not? So Shaktyavesh avatar typically is a living entity who is empowered by the Shakti of the Lord.
Special potency.
Special potency. Like Srila Prabhupada, like even Prabhupada says Jesus Christ was a
Prophet
Shaktyavesh avatar. Prophet Muhammad was a Shaktyavesh avatar. Vyasadev is a Shaktyavesh avatar. Vyasadev is a post. And the only thing is that the person who's occupying the post of Vyasadev in this particular millennium is Krishna himself. Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas. But in the next millennium, Ashwatthama will be Vyasadeva, the next Vyasadeva. So Ashwatthama, he's suffering this whole millennium. In the next millennium, he will be the post of Vyasadeva. He's a living entity, but he'll be empowered by Krishna to compile the scriptures. Because to compile these scriptures, which are in the sound form, in authentic way, without changing their meaning, and to have that same potency is not an easy thing. No one can just from their mind just do it unless they are divinely empowered. So they're living entities. Prabhupada, he in no unequivocal terms, he said, I am a living being. He didn't say I am God, even though some devotees try to say he's God, but no. But he's empowered by the energy of God. That is Shaktyavesh avatar. So typically, Shaktyavesh avatars are living entities empowered by the special potency of the Lord to do some Herculean mission on his behalf. And sometimes if no one is available, no living entity is there, then Krishna himself expands as the Shaktyavesh avatar.
Like Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas, for this time's Vyasadeva. So does that answer your question, Champakalata?
So Prabhuji Mataji, is it still considered as avatar because it's not Krishna himself, right? Like, it's Krishna's energy, Krishna's potency, like you're mentioning. So is it?
What avatar means descent. What has descended is Krishna's potency, has descended upon them. In that sense, they are avatar.
Like Srila Prabhupada is called as Senapati Bhakta. Lord Chaitanya has predicted about Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said that Prophet Muhammad and Jesus Christ, they have been predicted in the Bhavishya Puran. They have been predicted. So, they are incarnations in that sense of the word, that they have come down with special potency invested within these living entities. They've come with the special mission of the Lord. Like Pitama Bhishma. Pitama Bhishma also, he's a empowered living entity.
And it is said in Bhagavatam, Krishna Shakti, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahitar Pravartana. That without special potency of Krishna, no one can preach also. So if someone is preaching, they also have been given some potency. It may not be to the extent that Srila Prabhupada is as a Shaktyavesh avatar, but the potency is given. Anyone, even if a little child is speaking about Krishna, it's not easy. That means they have been divinely inspired
and
empowered, but not to the level of a Shaktyavesh avatar. Shaktyavesh avatar means they are specially chosen like that.